Hi, you stitchers. This is Stitching to Connect Annie, coming from Colorado on a kind of bright sunny day, but I don't have great light today, but I'm kind of holed up in my bedroom with my cat, who I will go into a great deal about later in the video. I will mention it, and then if you really want to hear all about it, I'll put it at the end of the video. This is, again, I said Stitching to Connect Annie. It's great to be able to connect with you today. I have not filmed since June 7th, I think it was before. So it's been a good 3 weeks. I'll tell you why throughout the video, and it has an awful lot to do with that little black kitty sitting behind me that's licking the yogurt because I'm trying to get as much moisture down her as I can. And now I'm spoiling her rotten right now. When you hear all about it, you will understand why. So this is going to be a combination StitchCon recap. For the most part, most of that. I have many piles around me on the bed, so hopefully I won't need to get down, forget something, and go back to it. It's going to be a long one, so buckle up, get a glass of your favorite drink, be it wine, be it coffee, be it whatever your favorite is this time of day, and settle in. And I'm fidgeting. You're going to have to put up with my nervous fidgeting today. So I said, it's going to be a long one. So stitch with me, listen to me, watch me, do whatever you want. Here, just listen if you want. Pause me, whatever you want to do. So I said 3 weeks. So I went to StitchCon B. Oh my goodness. I don't know who went. If you got a chance to go, the enjoyment factor of this stitching retreat is just above and beyond. I had a great time last year. I went 2021. I had a great time last year, and I will not equate that or any way, shape, or form. Only to say I was nervous last time. I didn't know what to expect. I knew no one. I went with absolutely no knowledge of anybody in that room other than watching YouTubes. Had never met anybody there in person. So that was a big factor, and I'm kind of an anxious person. Social anxiety is a little bit of an issue for me in my life. And so there was a lot of apprehension in going. Walked in, found a table right near the door so I could kind of leave if I needed to. This was last year. And found a great group of ladies. I had a great weekend. We had the best time. I won a gift basket, which was just for being there. It was a door prize, and I'd never won that before. I'll go into that later in detail too. Yeah, had the best time. So I was expecting, it'll be the same. Oh my God, it was so far beyond that this year. Not due to anybody I sat with or met or anything. It was just there's such a different factor of being the first time I went. And knowing I'd have a great time this year, just not knowing that it was going to be above and beyond anything I could have imagined. So you check in. They give you this lovely bag that it's very sturdy. It's a good, a good kind of picnic or beach bag, canvas bag. Lovely. I flew in on Wednesday. It started Thursday at noon. I went in on Wednesday because of all the kerfuffle about canceled flights and all of that. But prior to all of that, I had booked this quite a while ago. And when I booked my flight, I thought, I'm going to go on Wednesday. Last year, I stayed through Sunday and came back Monday noonish, I think it was. And everybody left on Sunday, so it was kind of like a downer a little bit for me. I was fine. I just stitched in my room and I was fine. I think I stitched with a couple of ladies in the morning, and then um, I think it was over by noon. Um, anyway, so I decided I'm going to go a day early, not have any issues, problems, and be totally rested, because I was pretty tired when I got there on Thursday last year, and I didn't get to check in till 5, so I missed like 5 hours of fun. Um, and I was pretty beat. So I thought, I'm going to be well rested. I'm going to go get my room, be well rested. So this year, we didn't have cicadas, but on Monday, before I was to leave on Wednesday, a lot of the Cincinnati area lost power. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I mean, there was a lot of scrambling. So they had a big storm on Monday. This was prior to the Wednesday I was leaving. Big storm on Monday. Took a lot of power lines down, a lot of trees, a lot of damage. And people were just, on our Facebook group for our weekend B, just kind of madly going, what are we doing? What are we going to do? How are we going to, whatever. And the hotel and so Tuesday, they didn't have any power. They didn't get power till Tuesday night. Yeah, that's how close it was for me. But some people had even arrived Tuesday, and the hotels weren't taking people because they had no power. You can't have people in a hotel without power. So they were turning people away, even at the convention. So the convention center where we were having the StitchCon is attached to the Hyatt Place Hotel, which is where I was staying, which is where I stayed last year. Super easy. I don't need a car. I don't need anything, but just go back and forth between. And it's nice when I get tired or I need something or I left something in the room, I can go up, walk, just go to my room. It's easy. Makes it so easy. So I knew I wanted to do that again. So I did that again. But Hyatt Place or Convention Center did not have power until late Tuesday night. Yeah. So that was exciting. It all worked out just fine. There was power when I got there on Wednesday. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but anyway, I connected with a person at the airport in Denver that was flying from the West Coast to the convention, who I'd connected with just briefly in the Facebook group. And so I met her. And anyway, got there Wednesday, checked in, chatted with a few stitchers that were already there, and said, I'm really tired. I got up at 5. I was so anxious about the power. I didn't sleep well. It was just, yeah. So I was really, really beat. Went up. I hit the sheets for like 5 hours straight. Woke up at 11 at night or whatever, and I'd slept for 5 to 6 hours, and I went, oh great, hopefully I can go back to sleep. And it had been a stressful week also because of my cat. She had started throwing up, I want to say maybe the Wednesday or Thursday prior to when I went to StitchCon. She was throwing up quite a bit, not just hairballs, just kind of stomach fluid. And she wasn't eating very well, and she just wasn't being herself. She was not being her kitty self. And she has a lot of personality. I know my cat really well. I know when she's not feeling right or acting right or whatever. So I was kind of nervous. I checked around, and she's not been to a vet she had not been to a vet in over 4 years, partly because of COVID, partly because she doesn't need vaccines because she's a totally indoor cat. So I had not had a current veterinarian either. So I called around, couldn't find a vet that wouldn't take her like 2 weeks out for a well kitty visit or anything. They said, why don't you take her to the emergency ER clinic? And I went, not sure I need to do that yet. But I got all the numbers and everything and left her with my husband, who is great with her. Sometimes she loves him more than she does me. Was great with her, and I said, here's a backup number. If you have any problems, just take her to the ER clinic. which just happens to be around the corner from us. It's literally a 5-minute drive. So I had it all lined out. Well, then lo and behold, Monday, when I was getting stressed out about all the power going out, she took a turn for the better. She just started acting like herself and being the sweet kitty she is, and eating and drinking and using her litter box the way she normally does. And I thought, oh, great. It was just, yeah, it was just a bug or something. I didn't know what it was. So I said, okay, that's great. I'm not going to worry about her. Of course, I asked when I talked to my husband, how is she doing? He said, she's doing fine. So, I had a stressful week before with her. It seemed like there was something else that was stressing me out. I don't remember what it was now. It was so shadowed by all my cat stuff. So a little stressed. So I was really tired. So I hit the sheets, slept, stitched for a couple hours, went back to sleep. And then I knew that we didn't check in till noon on Thursday, so I could sleep in. So I did. I slept in quite a bit till 9:30, 10 in the morning. Didn't get breakfast or anything, but yeah, it was all good. Oh, I had also ordered dinner. What did I order? I don't remember. Something. So anyway, because they also didn't have any food in the hotel either, because their freezers had shut down. I mean, their power was out. They had to throw out all their food that was no good for 2 days. I mean, you can't have bad food in a hotel for 2 days. So there wasn't any real food other than just candy bars and snacks and that kind of thing. So all that to say, woke up, went, oh, it's 11:15, 11:30. I think I'll go over to the convention center. Went over there, and I've never been so glad that my name started with an S. My last name's Smith. Started with an S because long line for A through M, itty bitty, no line for M through Z. Like nothing. I just walked right through. I just walked up to the desk to Pam and Steph and checked in. Super easy. Super easy. Got my bag. And I think it was about 11:45. They said they opened at 12, but people were in there before 12. So it might have been close to 12. Walked in, and first table I went to, they said they were saving spots, and that's fine. I had no problem with that. It didn't make me nervous at all. I kind of decided, I thought I was going to sit on the edge like I did last year, but then I went, yeah, let's see what calls to me. And so I was just walking through, ended up right in the middle of the ballroom. Okay, right in the middle at this one table. There were 2 gals sitting there, Angie and Debbie from Iowa. And they were sitting there, and I said, are these seats taken? And she goes, oh no, there's plenty of seats here. Have a seat. And sweetest gals. Yeah, we had a grand time together. So got to know them a little better. Kind of kept my eye open for Anna, Anna's the one that I shared a ride with from the airport to the hotel, and also connected with in Denver, because she flew from Sacramento, and her connecting flight was in Denver. And it was funny because when I connected a little bit in Face Group, I looked her up, her Facebook, it's not a channel, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, her post, and she has long brown hair, but the bottom part of it is blue. So I put that in my memory bank. My granddaughter did her hair blue like when she was 15, 14, maybe 13, 14, anyway. And this gal's name is Anna also. So, and I'm Annie, she's Anna. We had an Angie at our table. So there were 3. If you said Anne of any variety, we all turned around and looked or talked to you, because we were all Annes of one variety. So what was I? Oh, okay. So I'm sitting there in the Denver airport. And I see her walk up, and she has the blue hair, and I just said, Anna? And she turned around and looked at me, and I said, I'm Annie. And so we sat and visited for the amount of time that her connecting flight got there, and then we took off. And so I met her there. We shared not an Uber, but one of the gals at the StitchCon was very wonderful and charged us a minimal fee and picked us up at the airport and took us to the hotel. She was doing it both ways, but our flight left super early on Sunday, so we didn't do it with her on going back. But anyway, saved us some money, and I got to know Anna better. And so anyway, I was looking for her, and I said, well, I can't be too hard to see her with her blue hair when she comes into the ballroom. And I saw her come in, so I scooted over there, and I said, and this was her first time there too, so I knew what the anxiety level was. I said, do you want to sit with us? I found two lovely gals that we have plenty of room at our table. Would you want to come and sit? And she goes, oh yeah, for sure. So she followed us over. So she was our fourth. And then I can't remember how long it was until Melanie joined us. And then Trisha joined later in the afternoon. In fact, I went and did something in my room, came back, and Trisha was there. So yeah, we had a lovely 6 gals at our table. Melanie was local, so that was nice because she, if we needed anything, she could pick it up. I didn't, but one of the other gals I think needed something, and she went home every night, so she would pick it up on the way in or when she was shopping or whatever. So she was local. Where was Trisha from? I'm not going to remember where Trisha's from. Anyway, lovely gal. I'm looking at my kitty. She's making a funny squeaky noise. What are you doing, girl? Are you okay? Hey, Sierra. What you doing? You're just squeaking. Super vigilant with this cat right now. Okay. So, okay, all that to say, found my table, found my gals, found my peeps for the weekend, and we just had a lovely time. A lovely, lovely, lovely time. So on Thursday, this right now, so they have an annex, what they call an annex. And it is a big room across the hall from the big ballroom. It's a large room. And Keepsakes, who is the sponsoring group for this StitchCon, puts, I can't think of the word I want to use, displays and everything, part of their shop, but also a lot of vendors that they get materials and supplies from, for specifically for StitchCon, including fabrics, lots of fabrics. I'll show you some of my fabrics I bought, and trunk shows. I'm not sure if I heard right, but were there 15 designers? Maybe 15 designers, and that's what blew me away last year, because I don't have a local LNS that I frequent here because of one reason or another, and I had not, plus I hadn't been, I took this up right when COVID started, so I had not been to any kind of a LNS of any variety, close or not, since I started this venture again. And to see things in person is just phenomenal. Sorry, I know the light's bad in here right now. To see this in person is phenomenal. It's just amazing. And so that made me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs last year. So I was excited for that again. And so they have a lot of makers. They have makers of needle minders and project bags and all the fun stuff. And then they have these trunk shows where the designers have their pieces mounted, either creatively mounted or framed, or, well, they're all finished. They're all fully finished. and you get to see it in person. And then of course you want all this, all the patterns, you want all the stuff. So the only thing that they don't have in that annex in availability is the flosses, is the floss. They had a few that I saw off and on, but they went like that. They were just gone. So if you don't bring flosses with you, then you have to either wait to go home, or you have the option of going over to Keepsakes, which is the local needle workshop that sponsors this whole StitchCon. They have an antique house. That doesn't sound right. A house, very, very old house. It's full of stitching. It's full, 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 full. And they also have what's called a Stitchy bus. And so this is a bright red bus that sits in front of the convention center. And you can, and it goes over several times. It also goes over to La Quinta, which is another hotel that people book at. Anyway, so it's a ride if you don't have a car, which an awful lot of us didn't rent cars. We just, if you weren't local or you weren't within driving distance and you flew in, most likely you didn't rent a car, but you might have. But anyway, so the stitching bus is available. It runs different times of the day, and you just hop on, you go over, you shop, and if you want to buy floss or other things, or just shop because they have everything to the nth degree. And I'll show you what I got there too. Then you can shop and you can kit up your things. So that's a fun option. I know a lot of you know all of this stuff, but if there's some that don't, I'm sharing what my experience of StitchCon is. And so if you get bored, pause me, fast forward me, do whatever you want to do. But this is my take on StitchCon. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my fingers, arthritic fingers. So wearing my little baby splints that help with the pain. Yeah. So on Thursday, you get a sneaky peek into the annex, but you don't get to purchase anything. You just get to look. And I think it was open from like noonish to 5 or something like that. So you can't purchase anything until Friday. And I think it opened at 8:30 on Friday. So everybody was, of course, well, I'm going to be there at 8:30 on Friday morning. They have plenty of things, let me tell you. Unless you were gung-ho for just fabric and you just wanted to get the first pick of all the fabric, which they had a ton of, you didn't need to be there at 8:30. I was not there at 8:30 on Friday morning. So anyway, but you have to go over and just look. And for the new gals, let me see, Anna was new, Debbie and Angie were new. I think everybody was new except Melanie and myself at our table. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I could be wrong. If I am, ladies, I apologize if you're watching me. So for the new gals who'd never been there before, that was a fun experience because they didn't have any idea what to expect. I knew what to expect, but it was still marvelous. It was still amazing. And they're great because they will hold, if you want to purchase some things, then they have what's a hold slip. So you can purchase things. You pick up things or shop and you don't want to pay for it yet, or you're thinking about it or whatever. You can put that stuff on hold till the end of that day of StitchCon. So like Friday, the end of the day, Saturday, the end of the day. You have to purchase at the end of those days, or they get put back in stock, which is fair. It's totally fair. The only thing that you really had to wait for was cutting the fabric. So they had at least a yard of different counts and different colors and different makers, different vendors of fabric. I went with some things in mind, which I think is probably a good idea. I did purchase some things. I got some Jody fabric last year. I did. I got 2 pieces of Jody, a purple and a green. Um, but this year I had some things I really wanted to look for, because buying online is not always the best thing for especially fabric. You can pretty much get what you want floss wise, but you really have to see the fabric. I mean, I bought a couple of pieces, and I belong to a couple of fabric, 2 fabric clubs. I belong to 2 fabric clubs of the month. Forbidden Fiber and, why can't I remember that? Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Forbidden Fiber and it's another F. I have it over here somewhere. Here it is. Oh, Forbidden Fiber. That's the one I remembered, Forbidden Fiber. The other one is, I'll remember it. It'll pop into my head. Anyway, I belong to those 2 fabric of the months. But I specifically intended to pick some things. So I brought my patterns, even brought some of my floss I had kitted up, just so I could do a floss toss. Make sure it was what I wanted. But you get in line, you see all this yummy fabric. But anyway, all that to say, the line was really long. And it was a long time. And I did, a very, very kind lady, and I can't remember her name right now. Whoever you were that stood in line for me and waited, you were so kind. I really needed to do a couple of medical things I needed to do. And so I left her. She said, what do you want? Or how much? I left the fabric with her, and she said, how much do you want? And I said, I'll try to be back within 20 minutes or so. It was more like half an hour, 45 minutes before I got back. When I got back, she was already at the beginning of the line, and I just hopped in behind her, and the gal ahead of me behind her said, oh no, I know she was holding it for you. There is not a mean-spirited, unkind person in the room full of 300 plus ladies. There just isn't. And I know Weekend A was just the very same. These ladies and gentlemen, stitchers, I try to say, so I include everybody, and whoever is LGBTQT, or QT, I know that's not right. You know what I'm saying. I just try to say stitchers now so I don't get myself in trouble. Excuse me, I have something in my teeth. That's gross. I try to just say stitchers now. That covers the whole realm of us as stitchers. And anyway, to be in a group like that with kind of a hive mind, we all love what we do. A lot of us have pets. We have good hearts. We are kind to one another. We have causes. We have just love in our hearts for so much of humanity, however that is, especially during COVID and all the hard stuff that is going on in our society and our courts and our everything. We all have a loving spirit. It's a spirit. It's a loving spirit. And to be around that many people for a weekend is so amazing. It's just, I can't tell you. If you have a chance to do a retreat and you don't have any issues with travel or concerns about COVID or whatever your concerns are, do it. Save your pennies during the year and maybe pick one. I've gone to, this is my 3rd one this year. I went to StitchCon last year. I went to Steel City Stitchers in February, and then I went to StitchCon this year. I'm also going to Black Needle Society Camp in August in Missouri. That's their first in-person one. I'm very excited about that. And I'm going to Stitch North next May. And I will possibly go to Steel City Stitchers in March next year. But you know what? My grandkids are now 15 and going to be soon 17. And I also get to see my I make, you know, plans with my trips, small trips, to see my family. And I'm retired, and my husband is super supportive, and it's a big part of my life. It's a big part of my life. And just to have that rejuvenating experience is wonderful. It's wonderful. So all that to say, go to StitchCon, or go to a local one. Go to a virtual one. Virtual ones are fun too. Get yourself to a retreat, and or get some gals together and just stitch for a weekend, and you know, maybe do a local needlework shop tour or shopping experience. Do it. You know, you don't have to go to one that has 300 people. You can have just a few of your gal pals or stitching friends that love to get together and stitch and put together one. It's not that difficult. I mean, I know that these ladies and stitchers work so hard to put this together every year. I can't even imagine doing it back to back like they do. 300 one week and 300 the next. I can't even. But they do it, and they have the greatest spirit, and they have the best attitude, and everybody is so welcome. There's not a stranger in the bunch after you've been there a couple hours. Go, find your peeps, do what makes you comfortable, stitch for a while, and then leave. I have arthritis, so I can only stitch for 2 to 3 hours at the most in a row before I have to put back on my braces and just rest. Or if you have a health issue, you know, just say, I'm going to go up to the room, take a nap, do whatever I need to do, rejuvenate a little on my own, get some private time, and then come back, and you're just as welcome to come and go as you want to do it. Okay, I've talked way too much about StitchCon, pros and cons. I don't know, I didn't think of the con. There's no cons. Except it's a Stitch Con, which means convention. Um, yeah, all that to say. Now I have all these stacks and bundles in front of me, so I'm just going to dive in. I guess I'll talk about, since I talked about the annex, I'll show you what I got at the annex. So when I was checking out at the annex, they had this little, this free pattern that was, so there was a keepsake series, and it was, it doesn't matter because it's free. There was this keepsake series that people were doing. I didn't see anyone specifically working on this. Doesn't mean they weren't. Doesn't mean they hadn't. But this was done as an extra, which was designed by, Sue Hills. Sue Hillis, sorry. Because it's Barbara Hills. I got a little confused. Barbara Hills is the owner of Keepsakes. Sue Hillis is a designer, and I believe she's local. I could be wrong about this, but I thought she was at both weekends. I know she was at our weekend. I didn't get to meet her. I would have liked to have had her sign this, and also the other pattern I bought. But so anyway, got that pattern for free. This was in our, no, I'm wrong. I got this at the annex. This came in our bag. So it's a little StitchCon passport. It's cool. It has a welcome page, important notes, keepsake hours, the itinerary, which is very. The other thing that I do like about this one is there are no classes. So they're not having, so it's not exorbitantly expensive. They're not having to pay designers to come, or makers or whatever, designers to come teach classes, because there are no classes. So they can keep the price relatively inexpensive. And I like that. Also like it because I don't feel any pressure that I have to be at a class. I don't feel any pressure that I have to learn something. It's just nice. Now some do. Some, I think there's one in Houston, somewhere in Texas, in September, and it's all classes. You sign up and you sign up for not all classes, but a good portion of it is classes. And so you sign up for the different classes and you go to the different designers that are doing the classes. But it's considerably more expensive. So I like this format, more freedom, more stitching, more stitch what you want when you want. I like that. So they have a loose itinerary. They do have some times where they have raffles and door prizes and kind of a welcome. Every night they at, let's see, 7 p.m. on Thursday was the welcome gathering in the stitching room. So it's a lot of information. They do some door prizes. They do some drawings. They just give you a lot of info. And then Friday and Saturday night are at 8:30. Pardon me. So that gives you an opportunity if you want to go out to dinner or you want to spend some time doing other things in Cincinnati, but you want to be part of the whole raffle experience and the whole door prize experience and all of that. You don't have to get back to the big stitching room until 8:30. So that's nice too. I find that very nice. So I guess Sunday it goes till 3 o'clock. Huh, that wasn't my experience last year. I was sure they were done by noon last year. I could be totally wrong. That's what I remember. But this year it closed at 3. So you could easily stay, stitch all morning on Sunday if you choose to. Stitchy bus schedule, times it comes and goes, all of that. Then they had a list of all the Flosstubers, of which I am one. Particularly during the weekend, they had big posters, and they had all the Flosstubers from that weekend on those. This one has all of them from both weekends, so that was nice. So I made some notes here and there. Places you could go in Cincinnati if you wanted to. Where to eat, good places to eat, and then names and contact info. I put all my people from my table there, and a fun little cupcake stitch. Who did that one? Oh, again, Sue Hillis. And then any notes from, I just took notes, like what kind of fabric I need, blah, blah, blah. Heartfelt thank you. More info on how the annex works. Anyway, a very nice little book. And we had one last year too. I had brought mine from last year just so I could reconnect with the gals that I met last year, which I was able to do, which was super fun. So here is what, and because the light isn't great, I don't know how this is going to show up. It shows up pretty good. Yeah, that shows up really well, really nicely. It's a little more gold than that, a little more, but it has the purples, a little more green. This one has a lot of the blue. Oh yeah, that's great. Beautiful piece of fabric. This is the other club I belong to, which is, this is what this fabric is Fortnite Fabrics. They were great. It's two married guys, one black, one white. They're hilarious. It just cracks me up. I say that because my husband's African American, so they're hilarious. Married couple. I love it. Anyway, this was 28. It's called Cozy Cave, 28 count Lugana. and I got a quarter of a yard. So, and the other nice thing is you get to, she'll open up the yard, and then you get to, if you want, you get to pick which part, if it's a whole yard, and you get to open it up and look and say, well, I want that, it has more blue in it, has more gray, whatever. So I got that, and I bought that one for this, which I talked about last time. I'm going to be doing this for my daughter for her 50th birthday in January. And so I wanted to find a good piece for that, and I think this piece will be great. So I have all the threads. What do I do with all my threads? I have them anyway. All the threads, and I think that'll be really, really pretty on it. And then I may do more of these. I think there's 4 and then a box or something like that. I know there's 4 because there's seasons. Seasons of spices, or seasons of seasoning, or seasons of flavor, or what do they call it? A well-seasoned year. Yeah. Okay. So that was great because I had a specific purpose for that one. And then I got, this one I got too. This is Forbidden Fiber, which is the other one I belong to. And this is called Parliament. It's a peachy with a lot of peachy with, I'm sorry, the light's bad here. And it's wrinkled. Better if I hold it back. Anyway, it's very pretty. And I got a quarter yard of that, and that is 18 count Ada. So super happy with that. I can't remember what I'm gonna stitch. I think I have something in mind to stitch that on. Not sure I remember what it was. Then I got this one, which is also Forbidden Fiber. This is crazy. I think I already had a piece of this. No, that's just called Dove, Little Dove. Okay, this one I know what I'm stitching on. Stitching on this. This one is going on American Trilogy, which I didn't start yesterday. It was a start for July 1st. I didn't start it as a Sal. It's a Twin Peaks Primitive, and Stephanie and her mom Pam are going to be, well, I know Pam is stitching this, and there's a set of 3 of them. I got the Liberty Bell, because my daughter and I have visited this. I visited the other place. Well, the other one's very whimsical and not sure. I've seen the Statue of Liberty. That's one featured one. And then I can't remember what the other feature is of the other. But I love the Independence Hall. I just like the building. I like it has the Liberty Bell. I just liked it a lot. And it says Philadelphia, liberty throughout all the land. And I liked the all the land. And then it's Independence Hall. So I got this specifically for that. And this one is beautiful. It's got a lot of gray, some pinks, some kind of golds, greens, more golds. Again, the lighting, I'm sorry. Ugh. Yeah, it's not good lighting. But anyway, give me grace, because this is how I set up today, and I wasn't going to change my mind. I think I have to pull the threads. I think I already looked them up, that I have most all of them. They're all it's charted in DMC. But I don't have it all one of my overdyes for it. It's a big one. It's 119 by 104. So it's not huge. But anyway, I'm excited to start that, and I want to start that for July. I think those are the 3 pieces I bought. So that was what the gal stood in line for me for, which was super, super kind. Really appreciated that. Put these away as I go, so I don't have bunches everywhere. I'll explain that a little later too. Oop. Don't want it tip. What is it? I have things propped up on weight on this thing I'm holding my iPad with. Okay, we've gone 45 minutes. This is, I said, this is going to be a long one. Could be over, could be almost an hour and a half. So then, my purchases in the annex, besides the fabric, was this. This was designed exclusively for Keepsakes cross stitch, and it's called 310. At Keepsakes LNS, they have an all black cat, which is named 310, which is so fun. My cat's all black, and she has a little girl face like this one. My cat doesn't have the long hair at all. I don't know if 310 at the shop has long hair, but I just loved it. I just had to have it. And they did a lot of theirs in Krynic. It calls for pearl and star pink Krynic. And I definitely want to do some of that. Oh, here she is. Or he. I don't know if it's a he or a she. And that cat is the spitting image of my cat. Absolutely. 310. So he or she, I'm not sure which, looks like she has slick fur. She looks like a Bombay, which is what my cat is. She's a Bombay breed. How fun is that? I had to have that. That was stitched up prominently next to the cash register. And you just checking out and you see that. And I saw that when I did the sneak peek and I went, might have to get that. That is pretty fun. Okay. If you've watched me at all, you know I'm a beach girl. My maiden name was Beach, B-E-A-C-H. I grew up in San Diego in the 50s, and we were at the beach every other day. My dad had boats, we water skied, we just boated, we did all the things from the time I was 5 until I was 12. And that's when we moved to Colorado. It's not right. We moved to San Jose when I was 11. Sorry, 11, I think it was 11. So I spent all of my good young elementary formative years at the beach. I saw this pattern. First of all, I saw the sailboat, which is the second part of my love for water. When we moved to Colorado, no beaches, but lakes. And my dad he built sailboats, got totally into sailing, and I learned to sail. I'd never sailed on the open ocean other than, I'd never been in a full sail on the open ocean. Never done that. Would love to do that someday. My dad also went, he and my mom went up to the San Juans up in, I think that's what they're called, it's the San Juans up in Washington, and did a charter sail, which he absolutely loved. So, reminds me of my daddy. I loved that sailboat because it has a spinnaker. It has 2 full-winded sails. And it's summer, has summery, has there's a whale, there's a sand castle, there's a beach umbrella, there's an oar, there's a star. I loved it. And I've not had a Roveras stitch. The other thing about Roveras is they include a little charm, which I didn't know until I watched Pam and Steph. I think they were the ones who showed me that in their StitchCon review. Anyway, super fun. It's 133 by 58. It's not small, but it's certainly not a full coverage. It'll be a fun stitch. And I think I had the perfect fabric for it. Where did I do with it? See, I'm sitting right here. I'm not doing anything but sitting right here, and I still can't find things. Oh, there it is. This was my forbidden fiber. Pull it out of the bag so it's not. This will be perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's called Acid Wash. That will be perfect. I love it. I'm going to put that fabric in this pattern because, or with it. That's definitely a go. Sorry, I'm taking too much time. So that was one of my first purchases. I think I did this over a couple of trips. We all know Liz. We all know Hello from Liz Matthews. I couldn't remember her name. I knew Liz Matthews was her name. Couldn't remember the hello part. This is the 4th day of Christmas. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves. 4 calling birds, I think they're called. Joy to the world. I'm a singer. To be honest with you, the notes is what drew me in. But those birds are darling. They're just darling. And they had them stitched up. I think they had all the days, and I'm not sure how far she's gotten. I don't know if she's done 5 gold. This may be her. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. You know, there's a partridge in a pear tree, 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens. This is 4 calling birds. I think that's as far as she's gotten. I could be wrong. They had them all stitched up in the tree and stitched up in the frame. They were gorgeous. So I bought that because I've been wanting to buy one of those, but again, when you're there and you see it in person, it's just like, oh, well, I have to have that. No willpower. And then I did get this one because this was the Stitch Con that, again, my goodness, it was Sue Hillis Designs, yeah. Has the house. The keepsake house looks like this. This was designed especially for StitchCon 2022, I'm sorry. There's the red bus. That's a cool little tomato. There's 310, the cat. It says StitchCon 2022, friends new and old sharing a common thread. I mean, a bunch of us got this because you have to. You have to. I definitely want to stitch this. I'm not sure what fabric I'll probably just use kind of a beige fabric like it's called for. It's called for what that is. Okay. It doesn't say, just the count. So it doesn't say what the fabric is called for, but anyway. So, oh no, that's not it. That's not it. I had to get, this is the piece de resistance. So Anna, my stitching friend from Sacramento that I traveled with, etc., sitting to my left, came back to the table with a bag. Mind you, I was not going to buy any project bags. Now, I said this last year. If you watched my last Flosstube, you may have seen this. I said that last year. I went, well, I don't need any project bags. I've got plenty of those, or I can make my own. This was last year's purchase at StitchCon. I walked in last year and saw this. Well, it has a black cat, and the colors are fabulous. Black cats doing black cat things. That Sierra does all that stuff. I love this one. She does that a lot with her little paws crossed. Well, I had to have that last year. Plus, it's huge. It's a great bag because I can get my big Q snap in it. Has a handle. It's super nice. Super nice. And prior to going last week, or 2 weeks ago, however long it's been, I got this bag I love Painted Leaf Company. They have an Etsy shop. They're great. They're the mom and sister of, I can see their faces, Sarah and, anyway, who have a YouTube. Anyway, look them up. Painted Leaf Company. They have plants and they do, and look at that. Look at that. Look at that cat on the inside. Look at that. It's white and then it has a black. Look at that fabric. It's fabulous on the inside. I couldn't resist that. So I had gotten that prior to going to StitchCon. So I'm like, I'm sitting there and Anna, it's back to the table after after shopping in the annex. And she comes back with this beautiful bag and it's really lovely. It's blue, kind of Delft, if you know what I mean by Delft. It's that blue, Delft blue with, it's a beautiful fabric pattern kind of, I can't even describe it. It's really beautiful. And on the and it has a plastic, plastic see-through. And when you look through it, there's this rabbit that is machine embroidered. So you look through the plastic and on the inside of the bag, there's a rabbit that's a machine embroidered in blue and white. And it was beautiful. And I went, I didn't see that. Where'd you get that? Because I wasn't trying to buy any bags. She said, I don't know if they have any more, but this was the person. Okay. So it's Cricklewood Creek. And I had to do a lot. When I got home, I couldn't remember the name of it. And it's not on the bag. I would highly recommend you put something on your bag that tells you who you are. But the other nice thing they have is they have a wonderful zipper pull that has like a domed, plastic domed thing that has a little, I think hers had it had blue in it. I think it maybe had a rabbit on it. It was super cute. Very, very sophisticated, very stylish. And I thought, well, I want something like that. So I went back and there was a stack of them. And I bought this and it just makes me smile. I can't even tell you how much it makes me smile. Okay. So it's a stack of bullfrogs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not just bullfrogs. There's a tree frog. All kinds of frogs. The bottom one definitely is a bullfrog. Now, I'm not a big frog person, but but look at the other colors in it. It is fabulous. Now, this does not have plastic on. This does not have plastic see-through. But then look at the back. First of all, amazing. This is a big bag too. This is a big bag. Look how big this bag is. It's a big bag. It's a nice size bag. I didn't have any bags like this. There's more. It has a pocket, but look. A machine embroidered frog. That is not a patch. That is machine embroidered. What? It was $35? For all that work? A machine embroidered frog. That makes me smile. Look at him. He's so funny. He's hanging onto a branch. And there's more. Look at the zipper pull. It's a tree frog. A domed zipper pull tree frog. And the inside is yellow polka dot. How could I not get that bag? Anyway, Cricklewood Creek Etsy shop. Check her out. Check them out. Whoever does this. I don't think they were at StitchCon. If they were, I didn't know. Or in my group B, I don't know if they were, but oh my gosh. So I put everything I got. I think everything I got at StitchCon went in this bag. Everything. Is that all I bought in the annex? I think it is. I'm pretty sure that's all I got in the annex. Yeah, it is. I just died. I just died. And you know what frogs mean to us stitchers. Ribbit, ribbit. The other wonderful thing about this bag is I can put it, oh, it has a handle. There's more. I can put this anywhere and I can find it. It's got such great colors. I haven't decided, now that I'm unloading all my StitchCon things, I haven't decided what's going in that bag to be the honor of holding of my stitches. I don't know. Okay. So, okay. Shopped in the annex. What have I shown you? Shopped in the annex. That's all I've shown you, basically. Okay. And what we got it when we walked in the door, StitchCon. Okay. Went over on the Stitchy Bus. I'll show you that next. I was determined, and I didn't find it at the annex, but I was determined. Okay, so I'm doing the Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. And if you want to know more about this, I think I talked about it in my whip parade. That I ended up I bought a piece of fabric. Again, this is a perfect example of not being able to feel it or touch it or see it in person. Was not happy with it at all. Ended up starting in this corner on this, with this lighthouse, because lighthouses are one of my favorite things. I'm gonna watch my kitty and watch her behavior and see what she's doing. I think she just went and ate. She's now curled up in her cubby. So, yeah. Ended up stitching part of that and went, I'm not loving this fabric at all. So what I did was I cut it out, cut that one piece out with edges. I'm going to make it into a little dough bowl pillow or what do you call those stand-up things? So I was determined on this trip to find a piece of fabric that I thought that I liked, that I wanted to stitch on. And I bought this at Keepsakes at the house. Went over to the Stitchy Bus and bought this. Okay. Yeah, I really, really like this. This is fiber on a whim, which I'd never stitched on. It's called Brick. It's 16 count, and I got a half a yard. And I may have to adjust some of the colors. These are done in MPI silks, which I have all of them. But I think I had gotten more of the gold. The first fabric I bought was more of a gold color. I love this. I love this fabric. I'm so excited to restart this now. It doesn't smell, but it's so soft. I love it. And I definitely will get on the bandwagon for fiber on a whim. Pardon me, I'm trying. Because this is fabulous fabric. It's just like butter. It just feels wonderful. So I'm very excited about that. And that was one of my I'm going to find projects that I found. So that was another. So I bought 4 pieces of fabric while I was there. And I was very happy with all of it. Very happy with all of it. Okay. What to talk about next? Okay. So, this is hilarious. I'm sitting there Saturday night, and I'm stitching away. I didn't get a ton of stitching done either. I'm stitching away, and they're having the door prizes. Now, the door prizes are just when you... Where's my... Okay. I don't think you can see it. Anyway. I'll show. Maybe I'll grab it. you get there in your bag, you get a Annie Smith, where I'm from, Highlands Ranch, Colorado, Flosstube, Stitching to Connect Annie, and my Instagram is Stitching to Connect Annie. And what does it say at the very bottom? We can be, and in the corner here, it says 259. So my number, and I'm kind of assuming that that was my number that I registered when I registered for this, because you never know if you're going to get in or not. You just push a button and hope. And out of 300, I got 259, apparently. Now, one thing that they did say, which I was thrilled about, is everybody who wanted to be there was there. So they make this available the end of July, first part of August, maybe. So when you sign up for next year, and it isn't a rollover. It's not if you were there last year, you get to go next year. No. It's a from scratch kind of thing. And then they put out 2 wait lists. Everyone who was on a wait list got to go this year. I think that's amazing. I think because life happens in a year's time. You have to cancel, or you have to reevaluate, maybe financially or time-wise or family or illness or whatever, and some people had to cancel, and so everyone that was on a wait list got to come. I think I was blown, and they just worked with people. I thought that was amazing. I thought that was so cool. So anyway, my number was 259. Okay. So the ladies at Keepsake, there's quite a few on staff, several staff ladies, they each put together a basket. I won one last year. I thought, well, that was lucky. So I just had my ear, open, and they called my number again. I got a basket again this year. So, I'll show you. It's crazy. Try to show you. Still getting to know my phone. Oh, so this was our group of ladies at the table. They had a fun little, yeah, you can see that. Not really great. Anyway, doesn't want to get big. Okay, whatever. Saw it a little bit. Oh dear. I am not good at this yet. Recent highlights? No, this isn't working. Anyway, called my number. I got a basket. Not only did I get a basket, I got a basket from the same lady who made my basket last year. I can't remember her given name, but she's Spoonaroony on Instagram, and maybe, I don't know if she has a Flosstube or not. I was so amazed. Last year my basket was a fall basket, and I think I've shown you several patterns and several things I got. So it wasn't a Halloween basket. I had a lot of Halloween charts, restarting my cross stitch life, but I didn't have any fall patterns. And so last year I got a bunch of fall patterns. One of which I've stitched is this one. And then another one I'm stitching is the one with the pumpkins that says pumpkin hunt on it. Took that to StitchCon, didn't put a stitch on it, in it. So this one is a winter basket, not Christmas. Don't have a lot of, I don't have a lot of winter patterns. I have some, but not a lot. More Christmas kind of thing, themed. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure if Spoonerini stitched this or she bought it stitched or whatever, but isn't it fabulous? It's a little winter bird with a Santa hat mounted, completely finished. Super cute. Got a snag nabbit, which I have one, but I don't know where it is. So now that's going in my stitching tools that I have with me all the time now. This, just darling, and I got one of these for the fall last year that has pumpkins on it and in fall colors. This one has chickadees. I believe they're called chickadees. I think that's what my sister called when I took pictures of all this and I sent them to her. She goes, well, what's the chickadee? These are made by Cross Stitch Fancies, Susan Coates. That's flannel. That has a magnet in it. Can hook things onto that. Has a little, I'm not sure what you do with that. Floss. I don't know what you do with it. Anyway, it's a floss holder, like Wrangler. Put your ends of threads there. Do whatever. Has a snap. So nice. So well made. Now I have two of them. I use the other one with my fall things that I stitch. Yep. Wait, there's more. I'm going to try and show these without taking them out of the package. If it's too glary, I'll do it. Coffee Drinker's Confession. The Magical Elixir Series, Part 5 by Heartstring Samplers. Look at that. I don't have a problem with coffee. I have a problem without coffee. I could definitely stitch this for my bestie. She's a major coffee drinker. Might do that. Make a flat fold out of it. Season's Blessings by Leela's Studio. So cute. Fall Blessings and Winter Blessings. I think they're both of them. Yeah, both of them. Look at that. Fabulous cardinal. Fabulous blackbird. Gold winged. I don't know my birds. But I got a lot of birds now, let me tell you. Love that. Because this one had birds on it too, if you notice. Yeah. Okay. Okay, last year, when I was in the annex, I noticed this designer. I did not buy anything of hers, but I noticed it, and I thought a lot about buying things from her. Her main things were tiles, and they were very intricately designed tiles. That's all I could tell you. I looked her up, and those are still available, and I may order these. She designs under, her name is Chrisanne Tellen. And I think she's also an artist. I'm pretty sure she is. I looked up her spot. And her design, who she designs under is called Tellen Emblem. Okay, and these are her releases. Oh, from 2019. So these are older. I thought this was her, I don't remember who she released with. I know she released some this year too. So it's a American Robin with huckleberries, okay? Comes with the buttons and this little emblem, Tellen Emblem metal piece. And then she frames them beautifully. I would love to find frames like that too. They're fabulous. There's more. A yellow warbler and cranberries. The buttons are cranberries. And again, the little plaque, which I really like. I think those are so cute. There's more. A indigo bunting with gooseberries. Same deal. The gooseberries are the buttons. Little plaque. He's probably my favorite. I like the way he's looking over. The other ones are fine, but they're... But this one is also looking over kind of the other direction. But I think, and I'm partial to blue. I'm always partial to blue. OMG. Easily $75 worth of goodies. Easily. Plus a whole stitch piece. I need to contact her on Instagram. I'm sorry, I can't remember your given name, but I know you're Spooneroony. And see if she did indeed stitch this. It wouldn't matter if she didn't, but it would mean even more if she had. Because she stitched a pillow last year. Or I got a stuffed pillow that is part of my fall decor. Blown away by that. Okay, there's more. Okay, let me think a minute. There was a brag table, which if you've watched any of the other StitchCon roundups or StitchCon recaps, you will have, a lot of people filmed that, and Steph and Pam did a fabulous job of filming those brag tables. So go to Just Keep Stitching, Pam and Steph's YouTube. I'm sorry, I have to stretch my legs. This is an hour and 17 minutes in, and we still got more to go. Go and look at their their StitchCon recap. I think it's in their first one. They did two. They did a thank you one where they got so many lovely gifts and so much reaching out to them because they work their butts off at these, and so many people appreciate them. I'm going to think about something special to do for them for next year if I go, because they just do an amazing job. So they did a thank you follow-up to a StitchCon recap. My back is starting to really bother me. Hold on 1 minute. I'm going to adjust my pillow because I'm not getting the support I need because I'm leaning forward. Okay. What should I do next? Oh, I guess I'll do the obvious thing sitting in front of me next. So another thing they did this year, which was new, when we got there on Thursday, they talked about this. They called it a stitching mystery. Is that what they called it? I have to look at my little piece of paper. Now I won't be able to find it. Here it is. Quick shop form, but a surprise me kit. That's what they call it. A surprise me kit. Okay, and they talked about it, and they gave us a form, and they said, fill out this form, put your number, my number on it, put your name and your phone number and all your info. I didn't put my, probably be good to put your email address, but I did. And they said, put down that it's a surprise me kit, put your budget down, and tell them a little bit about you and what you like to stitch. And within that budget, they will get some projects together for you. Now, this is the first time they've done it. There's one lady at the stitching the keepsake shop. Oh my goodness, what was her name? It may come to me, it may not. She was doing all of this. Donna, maybe? Maybe that was Donna? I don't know if that's her name. She did a fabulous, fabulous job. I wish I'd gotten to tell her how much I appreciated her. And if anybody that's watching this that has connections with keepsakes and know who this gal is, because I haven't seen a lot of other people talk about this. If you talk to her or whatever, just tell her Annie Smith so appreciated the time and effort you put into, because this Surprise Me kit fit me to a T. So I put down Surprise Me box or Surprise Me kit, and they put favorite designers, and I put some of my favorite designers, and they said, what do you like? And I said, I like beach, sea scenes, and whimsical. They say what fabric, and I put 16 count Aida or Lugana. Is it 32 count Lugana? Whatever. My budget, and then I also, she said, put anything else down. I said, I love overdyed threads and silks. Okay. So if you want to know what I spent, just comment and I will comment back to you. But a little bit on the high end side, medium high end. Because I wanted to see what they came up with. Oh my goodness, I can't even tell you. So it comes in a bag, and this is what I got. Everything I got had the fabric, the floss, and a pattern. And I got 3 patterns with an extra piece of fabric, which is fabulous. I'll show it to you in a minute. So my first pattern, and because I said I love overdyed threads, she substituted some of the DMCs for overdyed threads and silks. It's a Needle Bling Designs. I'd never seen it before, but then I did, when I was at the brag table, I did see it stitched up. It's called Get Your Tail to the Beach. It's amazing. With Belsoise silk from PHA Colorworks is the beige, or not the beige, but the gold. And Silken Colors by the Thread Gatherer. Neither of these, I had neither of this kind of threads. So it's so fun to be able to use a new kind of thread. Both silks. It's a small. It's done, I think the fabric they gave me was like, I think it was this one. You can see that it's sparkly. It's beautiful. So that was the first one. I was like, oh my gosh, I was amazed. So new pattern, new flosset, silk flosset. I've never used these brands before, so that's fun because I love using, you know, new brands. Here I am taking time to do this again. Set over the set. This. Oh my gosh! I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to how beautiful that is. This can be used for any of the patterns I got. I could use it, probably not for the last one. The last one needs to be done on a, what? So it's Under the Sea, Fiery Skies, 16 count Aida. And there is 17 by 26. I don't know how big a piece it is, but it's big enough to do something on. And look at that. I mean, I would get this again in a heartbeat. Look at that. So I may use this for some of the patterns I got. I may not. I may do something totally different on that. I'm just excited over the moon. Excited over the moon. This, to make sure I have this all together in the right spot. Okay. She did combine some of the, but this is what she did. She went through and hand wrote all the conversions out for the pattern. The first one was self-explanatory. All the conversions for Wild Salt Air, which is a hands-on design. I have looked at this pattern many times and wanted to buy it and didn't do it. Has all, I mean, each of these little, yeah, has all of them. All of them. What? Hand wrote out that. Substitutions and cut pieces for all those smalls. It's called Mystic Everything Else, Mystic Designed Fabric Everything Else, 16 count Ada. And it's this soft sand color. I mean, it's so amazing. Oh my goodness. I was blown away. So blown away. And then she included, oh, and one of these is a, if you can tell, this little guy is a corner holder, or corner, what do you, not a holder, but you know what I mean. A corner measurer, a little pouch for it. She included that. It says keepsakes on it. It's so fun. And you can attach, you know. It's maybe not a corner measurer, but it's so cute. So memory. And then all the DMCs that were in that, plus some Classic Colorworks, all of those. And then she combined, because there's another pattern, she combined some of those colors. I don't know if I'm saying this clearly, but you'll understand what I mean. Some of those colors into, from some of the substitutions, because you don't use a whole skein, or you don't use a whole, whatever you call it, for each pattern. And so she combined some of the particularly overdyes into another one. Oh, this is Saltaire. Oh, Saltaire. Did I do that right? I try to be so organized with all this stuff. I tried so hard. Okay. This is so cute. Another one of my favorite designers, Lindy Stitches. Mermaids, what is it? Mermaids May pin book. I'm a little confused. I may use some of this for this one. I may. I'm not positive, but I may. I may use like a corner of some with some of the orange and the blue, because she gave me enough for everything. But a big piece of that, I kind of thought of using it for this one, which is the sparkly. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. There's so many I have so many options. These are the colors for the pin book, plus some of those DMCs that I had. Oh, some of these are DNCs. I already put them on a floss drop. That's right. I did do that during the last night when I didn't feel like stitching. I wound these and put these on. So my gal from Iowa is a, oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember what they are. Oh no. Hawkeye. Anamosa, Iowa. Anamosa, Iowa. She made these. Debbie sat to my right all weekend. She made these floss drops, so I had to use those. And then there's Classic Colorworks here, Weeks, and another silken. Oh, the silken colors is to die for. Look at this. Look at that silken colors. The rest is, I think they're all cotton. Is that right? Look at that Islamorada. Beautiful. Yeah, the rest of them are all cottons. For a budget of $125. Oh, I wasn't going to tell you. I forgot. That's okay. That's okay. Like I said, it was on the medium to high side. I don't know what other people spent. So I think 4 of the 5 of us at our table, no, 5 out of the 6 of us at our table, or maybe just 4 out of the 6 of us got Surprise Me kits. How fun was that? Amazing. Okay, put all that back together when I'm done. So I'm going to lean back a little bit here. Where my kitty is. She's still in her cubby, yeah. Okay. There's more. So I'm just going to show you a few things about what people dropped off at our table. A lot of people made floss drops this year. I made some. I don't have any with me. I made some anyway. These, I think these are all different. Those, and they put the project name on the back. I didn't do that. I'll do that next year, definitely. And then you can punch your own holes in them. And it was so fun because you'd leave the table and you come back and there'd be a new gift on your table from somebody that dropped off floss drops or needle minders or whatever. These were done by Southern Yankee Stitcher. This was done by Black Cat Cross Stitchery, Tiffany. Really pretty, just florals. This is super cute. Stitch in Time, done by, I don't know who it was done by. Oh, her Instagram is called Tam Stitches. So I'm going to put a bunch in a bag here. Fifth Daughter, which is Fifth Daughter Traditions. Did those. And I mean, they gave us like 6 or 7. I only did like 3 or 4. I think the most I did were 4 for each person. This is Crafty Cara. So cute. Oh, Melanie. She was at our table. Melanie Rising, and she also gave each of us, where is it? I'm pretty sure it was Melanie. I'm almost positive. She gave each of us a pair of scissors, or a set of scissors, and a um, lovely stitching fob. Is that what you call it? I don't know what you call it. Anyway, nice stork scissors. Used those the whole time I was there. So that was Melanie. She was our gal at our table. Didn't realize I had one from her. Then there were just some people that dropped off their business cards. Oh, that's the whole room. Those aren't business cards. But I saved all my stitching things so I could make floss drops out of them. So that was her business card. Okay, I got a few more things I don't remember what I did with them. I'll show you this right now because that's in my hands. When you leave StitchCon, you get you get a little bag with a lot of fun little things to put together. Stitching, scissor fob, or it has the hardware for everything. And this year they had, really cute, they had a little thing that says Dream on it, a pair of scissors, a 2022, and a couple more little rings. And so you can put that together and hang that on what you want, or stitch those little charms onto your projects. I may put some of those charms, like, oh, I thought the scissors were super cute. I may stitch those little charms onto my StitchCon piece. Plans. Not all of it happens. Then the lady we call Angela, or Angie, at my table gave us thank you for you gift certificates, all of at our table. I felt bad because I didn't bring anything for all our table mates. Live and learn. Do that next year. I know we didn't do that last year, but several people, like Melanie brought the scissors, and Debbie brought these, and for table mates, but she gave them out to other people too. But Angie bought us all gift certificates to Keepsakes. She was so sweet. She went home with COVID. So two of the 6 of us went home with COVID, unfortunately, or got home and got it. A lot of people got COVID when we were there, the week prior and our week. I didn't hear of anybody that was deathly ill, some that were uncomfortable, some that struggled, but nobody was hospitalized or anything like that. When you're in a room with 300 people and not a lot of people are masked up, some were, definitely the majority of us weren't. I tried not to hug people. We were like 2 feet away from each. In fact, Anna, my travel mate, and my person to my left is one of the ones who got COVID, and I think she's okay now. When you're with that many people and you're touching, I tried to use a lot of hand sanitizer. I really was aware of that, and I tried to wash my hands more than I maybe normally do anymore. I'm just home, so I'm not with big groups. So I knew I risked that. I masked up on the plane and in the airport. I think I took it off on the plane. But I masked up in the airport for sure. I'm double vaxxed and have all my shots and all that good stuff. So that's all I'll say for that. Anyway, so I felt bad because Angie was one of the ones who got COVID. I felt bad for everybody that got COVID, but I was very fortunate and I didn't. Oh, here's some more. I can see these. These are cute. Oh, this is super cute. This was Cross Stitch Fancies. Cute little bunny. And a lot of people just made the cards, and then you can put what you want, what kind of holes you want, because some people want double holes, some don't. This is fabulous. This was Garden Tea Time Stitcher. How gorgeous is she? And then I showed you the bunnies, and then this was Stitching Scotty, Dottie Crisp. I watch her Flosstube. She has fun Flosstubes. Stitching Scotty. My stepmom, mom that I knew all my life as my mom, grew up with a Scotty dog. And I always thought that was fun. She had lots of pictures of her with a Scotty dog when she was a little girl. So I have a warm space in my heart for Scotty dogs. And I can't remember if she has a Scotty dog. Stitching Scotty. I can't remember if she has a Scotty dog. She probably does. Okay, so there's more. Anyway, generosity, sweet-spirited stitchers. Yeah, amazing. Somebody dropped cozies by our place. Watching Flosstube makes me thirsty. My stitchy home. Will I ever use this? I'm not sure. I'm not a big cozy user, but I thought it was really cute. There was a freebie table, which last year I kind of cleaned up on the freebie table. I wasn't as interested. I went by it maybe 2 or 3 times and just kind of thumbed through stuff. It wasn't quite presented the same way it was presented last year. This year it was in bins, and so you had to kind of thumb through the bins. Last year it was just spread out on the table, and you could kind of see everything as it was spread out on the table, and I kind of liked that better because something would catch your eye. This way you had to make the effort and to go through, just not a huge deal. I did find this. This is from, I thought I knew the year. I do know the year. It had, because it's a calendar. It is, oh, I don't know, it doesn't have the year. Well, son of a gun, I thought it had the year. It's a, oh, it does, right there, in big, bold letters. 1989 cross-stitch calendar. And I found a few patterns in here that I thought were pretty cute. Pretty cute. Years and years ago, I had this book. I think I had all 3 of these books. And I've gotten rid of them over the years. But I did like those books, and I kind of wish I hadn't gotten rid of those books because they were just fun to thumb through, and they had beautiful patterns in them. So it's that kind of style, but they have some fun ones. I'm showing you the patterns, which I shouldn't be showing you the patterns. I should be showing the stitched ones, stitched up ones. These are so old. I liked that one. I like, it's another, so yeah, here she is stitched. I liked her. Just the style is fun from the 80s. What was the other one I really liked? Some of them are just kind of, yeah. Maybe it was this one. I kind of like this one. This was cute. Very old-fashioned. Look at the kitties in the quilt. There's a kitty on the ground. That was July's, red, white, and blue. I like this one too. This was April's. She's hanging up quilts. I thought that was precious. There's another one I liked. Christmas one was, yeah, was okay. Wasn't crazy about it. That was October. Somebody, oh no, there's November's. Yeah, as I showed you is what I really liked. Anyway, it was free. Will I ever stitch it? Probably not, but I thought it was kind of fun. It was fun to look through. Is what I was trying to say. Okay, final StitchCon amazing thing. So they do what's called a smalls exchange. I did not do it last year, and I was like, I'm going to do it this year. Kind of complicated my life greatly because I did the stitching back in May. I showed it to you. It was one of Lindy Stitch's smalls that she collaborated with. I can't remember who she collaborated with. Anyway, it had fish and especially a hammerhead shark on the bottom. I showed it to you last week or last time I think I showed it to you in my whip parade, even though it was a finish, not fully finished. But anyway, so I had stitched that already, and then as I tend to do, I have a hard time fully finishing things. I can finish them, but I have a hard time fully finishing, partly because of my hands. If I'll have a bad day, I will push myself to stitch, but not to take time to fully finish things. So what I need to do is I need to set aside a few days where I don't stitch and I just fully finish things. And then I can use like 3 hours of my stitching time to do that. And I need to just be disciplined about it, people. That's just discipline. So, yeah. So I went and ended up taking all my finishing materials with me to StitchCon because I didn't get it done. Plus, then I had the cat issue ahead of time. Oh my gosh, the one's 1:46. I've never done this long a video. This is going to go 2 hours. I'm going to rip through this real quick, and then I'm going to talk about, if you are interested, the cat saga. So, anyway, you're supposed to pick a bag that appeals to you, and it looks, I love blue for one thing, so I thought it's either patriotic or it's beachy. Anyway, I love blue, so I said I can't go wrong. It had a lovely ribbon on it. I have nothing stitched up for 4th of July or patriotic holidays. Isn't that beautiful? Now, she did what I did and did not put her name inside the bag. If you're watching this person, and I met you briefly and got to thank you, but I didn't get a picture with you and I didn't get your name. If you know who did this or you did this, please reach out to me so I can connect with you and thank you in a proper manner and just gush over what you did for me, because how beautiful is that? There's more. USA fun to decorate with, and cute stars. She went over and above. Oh, stickers. And the piece de resistance. And I love M&M's. Red, white, and blue M&M's, and you can see I've eaten half the bag. So, people for next year that have never been to StitchCon, this is what, and not expected, but this is what people do. But put your name in it, put a card in it, put a scrap of paper in it, or write it on the bag, or do something so that your person knows who gave it to you. Because I did the very same thing. I didn't put my name in my bag to give somebody. I messed that up. Thank you so much. I wish I knew your name. That's going, now that I've shown it to you, I've been waiting, that's going to go in a prominent place in my home for the holiday season. I'll probably leave it out all summer because we still have Labor Day coming up. And I just love red, white, and blue. So, oh my goodness. That was StitchCon. I can't think of anything else. Amazing. So that was an hour and 50 minutes of StitchCon. I'm going to devote the last 10 minutes to my cat saga. It might take me that long. So I think I told you before I left, the day I got home to StitchCon, my grandson was coming to visit us from Bethesda, Maryland, DC area, for a week, Sunday through Friday. And he was arriving an hour before me on his flight. So my husband was picking him up and then picking me up. Our plane on my plane sat in Cincinnati for 2 hours before they took off. So we were late. So my husband picked my grandson up. They went and did some fun things, and then he came back and got me. And I was tired, and we weren't planning anything that day because I knew I'd be tired. And I knew Nathaniel would be tired because he caught his plane at like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, something like that. So he had to be there at 5. So he didn't get a lot of sleep either the night before. So I said, I'm going to go take a nap. And I went and took a nap. As I was taking my nap, Kitty was throwing up again. Her name is Sierra. I'll call her Kitty or Princess or anything royal. She was throwing up again, but she was just throwing up fluid, nothing else. I asked Robert, my husband, has she been eating and has she been drinking? And he said, as far as I know, I haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary. So I went, okay, kind of put it in the back of my mind, watched her eating. She was eating. I have a cat. I have a girl that if she can see the bottom of her dish, in other words, she eats like it's a volcano and she eats right down the middle of it. She can see the bottom of her dish. She won't eat anymore until you fill it up. And there may be a lot of food around the edge of the dish, but if it isn't covering the bottom, she won't eat. She won't eat it. She just looks at you like, you need to fill that dish. So I had gone down and her dish had the middle of the bottom. It wasn't being touched. But so I fill it, and so it's like a mound, and she eats brown crunchy food, not wet food. She's 10 years old. So I noted, and so when I fill it, I know if she's been eating because she makes dents in her food because she eats down through the middle. So I can tell if she's been eating. So we did fun grandkid things. We went to see Jurassic Park the next day. We got home and I didn't see any dents in her food. She'd been drinking water. I could tell by the level of her water she'd been drinking water, but I didn't see any dents in her food. I checked her litter box. She peed, but I didn't see any poop remnants. Cleaned her box. Went to bed that night. Got up the next day. We went to it's called Meow Wolf here in Denver. It's an immersive kind of entertainment place where there's tons of neon and bright lights, and it's very hard to explain. And then we had lunch with my best friend. So we got home at about 2, and I asked Robert, maybe he was gone that whole day too. He had to go to his sister's in the Springs, help and take care of her, doing some things with her. So that was Nathaniel on my day to do things. So we got back, I checked. She had not eaten again. And she free food. I free food her. I don't just put out a meal, she finishes it, and then I take the dish away. She can go to her dish at any time she wants. She's been that way since she was a kid. And she's not overweight at all. If I did that with my cat that we lost before we got her, or that passed, and she blew up like a bowling ball, and I never should have free fed her. She just got huge. But this little girl has been very lean. She's between 9 and 10 pounds, and very active in all her cat activities. And so I have not worried about her weight at all. And anytime I had her into the vet, they weighed her and said, you don't have to worry about her. You can free feed her. So anyway, And she was kind of acting strange. But then I didn't know. And see, that combine that with she's the princess of the house. When there's other people in the house, she doesn't always act the way she normally acts. And Nathaniel wasn't mean. He's a wonderful pet person. But he was there making 15-year-old teenage boy noises and slamming doors and doing things that she's not used to. So I was like kind of chalking it up to Nathaniel being here. Um, but I did start being concerned and worried. And then she threw up again, and it was just fluids, and I was getting more concerned. Long story short, Thursday afternoon, Nathaniel and I were supposed to go to the pool, and I said, Danny, I'm sorry. I got to take her to the emergency vet. I'm worried about her. And he goes, oh, that's fine, Grammy. And he was going home the next morning, so he was fine just chilling that afternoon, and he had his virtual reality game with him and all of that stuff. And I just said, and Grandpa was gone. He was in the Springs again with his sister. And I said, Grandpa will be home. You're fine by yourself, right? He's 15. He said, oh, yeah, fine. And I said, okay, I'll check in with you. And I bundled her up and I took her to the vet. They did an x-ray. She'd swallowed a needle. Silver needle right on the x-ray. It was in her intestinal tract. I was horrified. They said, well, we know what's wrong with her. And she had probably swallowed it the week prior to me leaving. I cannot tell you. So this is a public health announcement for your pets, especially cats. They will go after threads. They will. I won't go into the gory details, but she had a lot of damage inside of her. They had to take part of her intestinal tract out, sew her back up. I was so horrified. I felt so guilty. I felt so awful. I was a wreck. They operated on her Thursday night. That night, got her right into surgery. They gave me an option. They said, sometimes cats pass this. And I said, no, we're not messing with that. Because at that point, they didn't know if there was thread attached to it. There was thread attached to it. A lot of damage. They operated on her. They called me at 10 o'clock that night and said she made it through. She's going to be sleeping all night. You can check her on her in the morning. Maybe you can come see her tomorrow. We're going to keep her at least 2 days. I went, okay. I said, and I had put down a deposit. You know, I said, I'll check with you in the morning. Took Nathaniel to the airport in the morning because Robert had something going on that morning. So I just took him, got him on the plane. I take him to the gate. I get a gate pass for him. Took him to the gate, got him on the airplane. He sat there a while. Then the plane took off. I got in the car and I called the vet and I say, I'm coming to visit her. Is that okay? And he goes, yeah, if you can get here in the next hour. And I said, yeah, I should. I'm like, we're 45 minutes away. Not expecting anything great. Walked in and they said, the vet is fine with you taking her home. You could have scooped me off the floor. They brought her in. They put her on, they unwrapped her. First of all, they praised what a wonderful cat she was, which I knew that. Anybody that's ever around her knows that. She was sweet. She was loving. She never bared her teeth. She never tried to scratch. She doesn't do anything. I've never seen her hiss in her life or bare her teeth at anybody. Ever. I brought her home. They said, okay, you have to give her pain meds and antibiotics. And you know what fun that is to pill a cat. Yeah, big battle. I tried to give her pain meds like an hour before so she'd be mellow, which she was very mellow, especially the first 2 days, to get all that anesthesia through her and everything. Because they operated on her 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. I was still a wreck and I was nervous and I was very vigilant and But she was so happy to be home, and she was so loving, and she was just rubbing on me, purring on me, and just, I was just like, oh my gosh, Kat, you totally have 9 lives. Because when she was 18 months old, she ate a ball of yarn. She didn't have to have intestines removed. That was in her belly. They had to open her up, though, get the yarn out. I discovered it very soon. This one, it was in her system at least a week, at least, if not longer. So stitchers, a tail. This is a tail, a cautionary tale, literally a cautionary tale. T-A-I-L-T-A-L-E. Be careful, man. When it happened the first night, I was ready to get rid of all my stitching. I was just horrified. I thought, if I've killed this cat, she is one of the loves of my life. I would just be lost without her. And I know you know, you especially cat people out there, and any animal person. She's been my buddy through the last 2 years of COVID. She is like a dog. She follows you around the house. She's not a huge talker. In fact, she hasn't talked a lot since she had this done. I hope she gets back her voice. But she's doing okay. It's been a week. This is Saturday. She had it done a week ago Thursday night. It's been a week. She's gotten through all her meds. She's eating. She's drinking. She's pooping and peeing. I'm just going to leave you on that note because it's a good note. But this girl, one of the other things we got from Gay Ron Stitchers was there. Gave us this with a needle in it and a magnet. This girl, that's where her needles are going. We're not leaving them on the needle minders. We're not leaving them threaded. We're not doing anything anymore. Every needle I use is going to be in this, in my little pouch thing over here. I am not leaving a thread dangling. I'm not leaving a needle on anything. I'm very contained. I went through everything and gathered all my needles together, put them in another place. I'm using needle minders just as like decoration as I stitch. I'm not attaching because these animals are like little vacuums. Especially cats love string. They love string. What can I say? This is Stitching to Connect Annie. Thanks for hanging in with me. I went 2 hours. This is my longest video ever. I hope you have a great day. Oh, and another fun thing. Colorado Avalanche champions. Stanley Cup champions. I'll leave it on that note. Bye for now.